Let me ask you something straight up. When was the last time you bought something expensive, maybe a bike, and later realized that you should have asked someone who actually works with them every single day? See, here's the cold, hard truth. Most riders buy motorcycles based on flashy ads, fake reviews, or what their friends say. But do you know who never gets fooled? Mechanics. The men and women who spend their days elbow-deep in engines, fixing the breakdowns, and seeing which bikes actually survive years of abuse, and which ones collapse like cheap toys. Think about it for a second. Every salesman will tell you that their motorcycle is reliable. Every YouTuber will hype up a new model because, let's be honest, many of them are just chasing views or sponsorship money. But a mechanic? A mechanic has zero reason to lie. They see the truth, and sometimes the truth is brutal. Some motorcycles look amazing on paper. They feel thrilling during the test ride, but once you've racked up a few thousand miles, boom, issues start showing up. And who ends up dealing with it? Not the sales guy, not the influencer. You do. And then you're stuck paying a mechanic to repair something that should have never broken down that early in the first place. Now, here's the thing I want to drill into your mind. Choosing a motorcycle isn't just about speed, looks, or even comfort. It's about trust. Can you trust this machine to not leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere? Can you trust it to not drain your wallet with expensive repairs? Can you trust it to still be strong 10 years from now? Most riders never think about this until it's too late. That's why listening to mechanics, those who deal with bikes long after the showroom shine fades, is like having a cheat code in this game. And I'll be brutally honest with you. If you ignore what mechanics say, you're setting yourself up to fail. You'll end up with a motorcycle that looks good in photos, but every few months you're running back to the workshop, emptying your pockets on repairs and regretting your choice. But if you listen to the machines that mechanics personally recommend, you're buying peace of mind. You're buying years of reliability. You're buying the kind of motorcycle that doesn't just ride, it endures. So in this video, we're not talking about hype. We're not talking about showroom glamour. We're talking about the motorcycles that mechanics themselves nod at. The ones they'd recommend to their own family because they know which engines hold strong, which transmissions don't give up, and which bikes truly deserve to be called reliable. By the end of this video, you won't just know 5 motorcycles, you'll know the 5 that mechanics themselves put their reputation on. And trust me, once you hear these names, you'll start looking at motorcycles very differently. Because when a mechanic recommends a bike, it's not just a machine, it's a guarantee. Number 5. Honda CB500X. Here's the truth about the Honda CB500X. It's not the flashiest motorcycle. It doesn't scream for attention, and that's exactly why mechanics love it. See, Honda's mid-sized twin-cylinder engines are like cockroaches after a nuclear blast. They simply don't die. Mechanics see these bikes come in for oil changes, tire swaps, brake pads, and that's it. No catastrophic engine failures, no mysterious electrical gremlins, no gearbox meltdowns, just simple, reliable, consistent running year after year. Most new riders fall into the trap of chasing bigger is better. They buy something too powerful, too complicated, and then wonder why they're spending weekends at the workshop instead of out on the road. The CB500X avoids all that nonsense. It's powerful enough for highways, nimble enough for city traffic, and reliable enough to carry you across countries. Mechanics know this bike has one of the cleanest service records in the business. And when a mechanic tells you a bike is boring, pay attention. Because boring means dependable. It means you'll ride more and spend less. Number 4. Yamaha MT07. The Yamaha MT07 is a mechanic's dream and a rider's blessing. Why? Because it has the magic combination of performance and simplicity. This bike is fun, fast, lightweight, and it has one of the most reliable engines Yamaha has ever produced. the CP2 parallel twin. Mechanics often say, if you want a bike that never complains, get an MT-07. Here's the manipulative truth. You don't want to be the rider who's constantly worried about what's going to break next. That ruins the joy of owning a motorcycle. With the MT-07, mechanics see the exact opposite. Bikes come in for regular servicing, maybe the occasional chain adjustment, and they go right back out ready for more abuse. No drama, no hidden costs. And that's why it's become a legend among riders who want something affordable, thrilling, and bulletproof. Mechanics know that when you buy an MT-07, you're not just buying performance, you're buying confidence. Number 3. Kawasaki Ninja 650. Let's face it, the Kawasaki Ninja 650 doesn't get the respect it deserves. Everyone talks about the ZX series, the super sports, the monsters, but ask a mechanic which Kawasaki they'd trust to run for decades, and they'll point you straight at the Ninja 650. Why? Because it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks sporty, it rides sporty, but underneath, it's engineered to survive. Mechanics love this bike because it's forgiving. Even when riders neglect it, skip maintenance, or push it hard, it keeps going. It doesn't punish mistakes the way high-performance bikes do. And here's the manipulative angle. If you're the kind of rider who doesn't want your motorcycle owning you, then you need something that works with you, not against you. That's what the Ninja 650 does. It gives you excitement without the hidden headaches. Mechanics see this bike as the definition of balance. Enough power to thrill, enough reliability to trust. And trust, remember, is the only currency that matters in the world of motorcycles. Number 2. Suzuki V-Strom 650. Now, if there's one bike that mechanics secretly admire, but riders often overlook, it's the Suzuki V-Strom 650. This machine is like a faithful dog. It doesn't matter where you take it, how rough the conditions get, it'll stay by your side. Adventure riders love it, but do you know who loves it more? Mechanics. Because they almost never see them in for major repairs. Here's the reality. Adventure bikes are notorious for breaking down when you need them most. Complicated electronics, fragile parts, overpriced accessories. It's a nightmare waiting to happen. But the V-Strom 650 doesn't play that game. Mechanics know its V-twin engine is nearly indestructible. They know its design is simple enough that problems are rare, and when they do show up, they're cheap to fix. This is why seasoned mechanics tell you, if you want a bike that won't betray you on a long trip, skip the hype and get a V-Strom. Because reliability in the middle of nowhere isn't just convenient, it's life-saving. Number 1. Honda Goldwing. And here we are, the king of reliability, the motorcycle that mechanics personally respect more than almost anything else, the Honda Goldwing. Now, let's be real, this isn't a bike for everyone. It's massive, it's heavy, it's expensive, but mechanics will tell you straight. Once you own a Goldwing, you understand what true engineering perfection feels like. This machine is famous because it simply doesn't stop running. Goldwings rack up hundreds of thousands of miles, and mechanics barely touch them beyond routine servicing. You'll hear stories of riders who've ridden across entire continents without a single mechanical failure. Think about that. The confidence to ride for years without the constant fear of breakdowns. That's not marketing hype. That's decades of mechanics confirming the same thing over and over. This bike is practically unbreakable. And here's the manipulative twist. You might think a Goldwing is too much for you right now. Maybe it is. But one day, if you ever want to own a motorcycle that represents the very peak of reliability, every mechanic in the world will quietly whisper the same name, Honda Goldwing. So there you have it, the motorcycles mechanics personally recommend. And remember, a mechanic's word is gold, because they're the only people who actually profit when your bike breaks. So if they're telling you, buy this one, it almost never fails, that's not advice. That's a secret they probably shouldn't even be sharing. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you owned any of these bikes? Did your mechanic call it bulletproof? Or did you prove them wrong with a breakdown story they didn't expect? Drop it in the comments. I guarantee other riders are scrolling down just to see what you say. And if I missed a bike you believe deserves to be on this list, don't just throw the name. Back it up. Convince us. Because who knows? Your comment might spark the next video. At the end of the day, hype fades. Brands fight for attention. But when a mechanic recommends a bike, that's the closest you'll ever get to the real truth.